Welcome to the Nebraska Northern HO Scale Railroad YouTube channel. Today we are going to be showing you how to ballast switches and track on your layout. So let's go ahead and dive into today's video and see how it's done. So the products we will be using in the ballast to do the ballast in the yard is Woodland Scenic's Fine Ballast, the gray blend, a paintbrush and a toothpick, some rubbing alcohol, some glue mixed with water, and then, if needed, some backup glue. So now we're going to go ahead and go over to the yard and start ballasting. So now we are into the main part of the yard, coming off the main line. This switch right here is the one we are going to be focusing on today, up to where these thumbtacks are. So the first step I like to do, you don't have to, but if you want to, go for it. I always like to just quick brush off any debris from the switch. Then you take your ballast, and I use Woodland Scenic's Fine Ballast, the gray blend. It's B1393. But I've made mine a little bit darker. Here's what you do. You take some ballast, spread it around like that. There's a big old rock in there. It's barely cataloged. Then, I take my finger, run down the switch like this, and just fill in between the ties. And the way we like to do it here on the Nebraska Northern is just have it come up to the top of the ties. But of course, you know, sometimes that don't happen, like spots in the main line. Then I take the paintbrush again and just kind of brush the ballast. Keep brushing it. Just kind of, you know, make it look somewhat natural, up to what you want. And I'm sure there's probably people commenting below right now about how I'm doing something wrong. Well, guess what? I don't care. So, on the points on this switch, you don't want any of the ballast to get down where the switch meets the other rail. So, I always take a toothpick and just kind of go down in here and just kind of clean out where everything's at. And I just keep taking the brush, ballasting it some more. Then, if you don't put enough ballast, you know, whatever much you need in your hand. Of course, what I just put in my hand is probably too much, but oh well. Just sprinkle it down here. Just take my finger again, spread it down the edge here. Take my brush and kind of just pat it a little bit. Remove these thumbtacks. And while you're at it, we'll probably mess up some of your ballast work that you like. but that's okay. It's errors. Everybody makes errors. Just push some of this ballast down track here a little bit. Take some more. Oops. Didn't sound good. So when you're ballasting around the points in the switch, you don't want any ballast where the points hit the rails. So you want to clean those out. And I have a tortoise underneath my machine, so I'll just manually throw it. I'll keep doing that. And then if you have a fine tip paintbrush, that'll work too to get the ballast out. I think I know what my problem is here. Push that thumbtack down. And just kind of keep working the switch till it closes like it did previously. What you want to do is grab your alcohol and glue, and this is just 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. This is what you do. Get it into a spray or to a mist stream. Just spread that onto a piece of foam from construction. Then wet the ballast down with rubbing alcohol. You want to hold it probably a good 6-8 inches, foot at the most. Wait, you want to soak it in glue or in alcohol. Then take your 50-50 glue mixture of Elmer's white glue and water. And just go like this. Evenly spread glue around the ballast. Okay, and now we will come back in about 24 hours. A boring 24 hours later of watching glue dry. The ballast is now completely dry. After you ballast these switches, it is super important to make sure that down by where these rails touch, the outer rails, or whatever you like to call them, you want to make sure there is no ballast whatsoever near any of these rails, because they have to seat properly in order to have your engines or cars or what have you go into the siding or transfer tracks wherever your switch is at that you're ballasting. And now we will include a little walk down of the yard track that we've also ballasted. So this pretty much wraps up this video of how to ballast your HO scale track. Please keep an eye out for more videos on the Nebraska Northern YouTube channel. My name is Andrew, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Okay, I'm good. So 24 hours later, all the glue is dry, and when you do switches, I usually take, not pair of tweezers, but I have these little, I use them for working on my car. They're like these little...
Hold up, Andrew, hold up.